Hello, I'm Donna Collins, Executive Director of the Ohio Arts Council. Today's conversation stems from the Arts Beacon of Light, Finding Hope in the New Normal, a project inspired by our board member, Tina Husted. Through the Ohio Arts Beacon, we want to give our artists a place to share, connect, and manage the challenges presented by the coronavirus pandemic. We hope to inspire you while giving artists a platform for connection, expression, and encouragement. So I hope you'll sit back and enjoy the conversation. So let's get started. Today I'm joined by Ohio artist Lisa McLymont. Welcome, Lisa.
Hello. Thanks for inviting me, by the way.
Oh, we're delighted to have you. We're also thrilled that you were selected to be one of our featured artists in the Ohio Arts Council's Current Rife Gallery exhibition, Ohio Diaspora, art from the collection of the National Afro-American Museum and Cultural Center and Ohio Artists. Many of us were able to visit the exhibition in its first few weeks, and we hope others will be able to visit the gallery when our state's leadership deems it safe to do so. Later in the conversation, I'll share with you how you can visit the gallery virtually. So Lisa, today I have a few questions for you, and I'm excited about hearing your answers. One of the questions on my mind is about the COVID-19 crisis and how it's impacting artists. Can you share how the crisis is impacting your art making?
It's funny, I've been going through phases of productivity and complete shutdown. The city shut down, my brain shut down. Worried about the state of all of my circle of friends and family's health, our financial health. Will it ever open up in a way that feels back to normal? Even though in my heart I know nothing's going to be normal moving forward. I've been pushing myself using my art as a way to distract, but again, it's been really hard some weeks to just to pick up something and express myself. But it drew me to making a couple of commission pieces this week. That was 2 weeks ago. And they're on hold because this last week I have not been working on much, but I'm excited to get back to them.
Thanks. I bet there are lots of artists who feel the same way you do. A few that I've talked to have expressed themselves in the same way that you're feeling. So in preparing for our conversation today, I visited your website, lisamclymont.com, and I encourage folks listening to do the same. There are some fabulous examples of Lisa's work for your viewing pleasure. But beyond the inspiring work, you're also going to find her bio and contact information. Lisa, two standouts for me in your bio. Under education are your notations of a Bachelor of Science degree in Industrial Design from The Ohio State University and self-taught artist. Share with us how your higher ed degree and the on-the-ground learning that you've done has merged together to make you the artist you are today.
I would say number one, curiosity helps me produce. It helps me figure out, orient on what I want to express. My design background helps me do the research and get really pinpointed as to the project at hand. So I can pick a subject and do some research to get the right positions or learn more about a subject. Get the symbology connected to it, like does color matter? Are there any objects that I can refer to that have meaning connected to what I'm doing a portrait of? And I think a lot of that comes from the Ohio State University's gaining the experience through them on research and really lifting all the layers of something to get at a different way of looking at something. So that's what I bring to my self-taught part of my art, and everything else is experimental. I just try things, and if I like it, I keep working with that and build on it.
I love that, and I love that you use the word curiosity. I'm curious about the ways that the place where you live, your hometown, Columbus, influences your art?
You'll know and see very quickly that I see everything being connected. So my circles of friends, my upbringing, I have Jamaican parents who met in New York, and I have a twin sister. We were raised there in our youth and came to Ohio, and we never left. This is a home for me that I've chosen to live my adulthood through. I was educated here. I have so many layers and circles overlapping that feed my inspiration and help me be proud of whatever I produce and share with the world, that everybody else gets excited about it too. It's really wonderful and hard to leave at
Thank
this
you.
point.
Right, and we don't want you to leave. We need
No,
the
I don't want to go
artist right
anywhere.
here.
Yes.
No, you cannot go. Never.
It's an art lively town. It's an amazing place to be an artist.
I agree. We're lucky in Ohio to have so many communities just exude creativity and innovations through the arts.
Yeah.
Will you talk a bit more about influence, or really about that inspiration? What inspires you to create a work of art or a series of artwork?
Well, the root is trying to express positivity and love, but what drives a lot of each portrait is the power behind the person that I'm showcasing, what they've brought out in the world as far as fighting for social justice, or love and positivity, or saving the earth in some way, our air, our water, our human rights. All of that is tied into the root cause of my work, which is promoting love in the world.
Well, we certainly need love in the world today, and our artists are certainly helping us express those emotions in a more positive way through social networking and other means that I've seen as we physically distance at this certain time in our lives. I wonder how it will impact us when we look back.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too.
Ohio artists, like all of us, are following the stay-at-home executive order from Dr. Acton and Governor DeWine. And Lisa, as you know, I follow your work through social networking, and I just loved a recently commissioned piece you created. Would you mind telling our audience today about the impetus for the commission and why it was important for you to create it?
Well, I have a really great friend, Julia Applegate, who has worked decades in the city fighting, again, for social justice rights for LGBTQ identified people of all walks. Amazing person, has brought a lot of health awareness and gender awareness to Columbus through the public health department, and is now at Equitas Health, focused on education within a queer community, as in a nutshell. So I was talking with her online about just feeling down about things and what inspires us, and we started talking about all these things and talking about looking forward to the 2:00 live casts. And she said, man, I would love to have you do a portrait of her. And I was like, you really want to do that? So we talked more and we settled on a size, and let me go on it. I was inspired because Amy Acton has such a calming voice and demeanor, and you can see how much she really cares about everybody. Like, she's really fighting for all of us. We are truly all in this together when I look at her speaking. Julia was drawn, in addition to all of that, she was also drawn to Amy Acton's hands when she talks, and how that adds to feeling calm and held with empathy. So that was the root of all of it. And then I just took it and ran with it. So once I got my inspiration settled, I oriented on celebrating Ohio. And I love that the Ohio flag kind of looks like a halo around her, because she's all our angel right now. But yeah, that's it.
Well, thanks so much to your friend who's commissioned the work, because we all have the opportunity to enjoy it. And I love the way you describe Dr. Acton and her attributes and the calmness and love she brings to all of us. I can't tell you how many folks from around the nation have called or written and said, you're so lucky to have the leadership team with your governor, lieutenant governor, and health director.
Yep.
And I often say, yeah, I know. Yes, we're lucky in Ohio, and we know it. That's
Yeah,
not lost on us. Every day, we're thankful for what they've done to help us lower the curve and keep as many people safe as possible.
definitely.
So I just have a couple more questions. As an artist, you're growing creatively and technically with each new work. What advice do you have for our emerging artists, from little kids to seniors? What can they be doing right now on their craft to grow as an artist through these unprecedented times in our history, which will be our history, I guess?
I have a kind of long answer for this. It's a great question, by the way. I love talking about where creativity comes from and how to nurture it. I want to start back to when I was really, really young, so 5, 6, and how crayons were so important for me. Paper, not necessarily. I drew on the walls. Not that that's a good thing. I don't encourage it, but I found ways to express in lots of different ways in 2D when I was younger. And on the downside, I put it all away to focus on that one thing. And I became a designer, and I spent a few decades not nurturing myself as an artist. And I got burnt out. So art saved me. I lunged for that as a way to heal myself, because I also was really poor. So you can find your inspiration without having to invest in a lot of supplies. I think that is really important to say. And then once you have figured out what kind of supplies you want to use, whether that's hay, sticks, coloring leaves and boiling, flower petals and all sorts of things you can get color out of, and fabrics you can paint on. But every day or every other day, find some way to feed that is the next step. If you can always be doing something to inspire yourself, whether that's researching subject matters to learn what kind of lexicon you want to build for yourself to pull from to make your art, or if you're just learning different techniques and exploring them. I jump back and forth between different techniques because I can't just stop completely, because then I stop everything. I try to keep connected in some way because all of it feeds the end result, which right now is my portraits. Before I was making jewelry and hammering wire, but I approach it with the same very focused energy and wonder. Like, I just love seeing what happens when you make a mark or twist a thing, and what comes from that, what grows from it from there.
I love that, Lisa. I think I'm going to have a coaching session or spend some time with you in your studio when we're allowed to be in the same space together. I'm intrigued about the making the mark and twisting the thing and how simple that sounds, but I'm quite sure with your talent it would be something much better than I could produce, but I'm up for learning.
Yes, and I apologize. I constantly, I'm told I oversimplify, but I see the root of a thing, and it does become that simple for me. What I say simply grows into the complicated thing, whether that's in the dark room or making a 10-foot sculpture. I think the technique comes from you feeding whatever the root of that thing is for you.
Yes, I love that, Lisa. And knowing your work, the work that I've seen that you've done, I can, in my mind's eye, can see some of that work in the small studio you had over at Blockfort, and the joy that it brought me the first time I saw it. So thank you for that.
Welcome.
Hey, I want to put you on the spot. Who are some of your favorite artists, from globally known to not yet known artists? And why are you attracted to their style and subject matter?
Oh, I have so many inspirations. Right now, what's popping into my mind is Charles and Ray Eames, and they're furniture designers, but they're life designers. They looked at everything around them and found a way to work their creativity into making it a new thing for people. And I see that in the way I approach my art making, my jewelry making, sometimes my designing can be kind of very straightforward, but the way you think and approach to solve a problem can be really creative, and that's what I love about them. Leon, Diane Dillon is another one. The obvious ones, Frida Kahlo, Georgia O'Keeffe. There's a graphic design duo called Harakoot that I really love. But ultimately, in a lot of these works, the root of it is that there's a glow in what they do that communicates to me, that I can see their curiosity or the care for materials of the subject matter. And when it blows me away like that, they're just instantly on my list of inspirations. Like I said, I like to research, so I look at everything I could find on Google about, that artist, and absorb their perspective and let that feed me.
I love that. I have found myself Googling more and more artists during this time we've been sheltered in place, because we need that. At the office, I'm surrounded by people who are passionate and creative, and many of them are artists. And so having that energy around you means so much. So the next best thing is Google right now, right?
Yeah,
Finding
can you
all the folks.
imagine back when there was no Google and we were young, and you had to go to a library and look through the card catalog? Like, we are very fortunate in this time of shutdown to have the internet to do all this. We've expanded our world. It's amazing.
You're absolutely right. And I've learned that from my grandgirl too. She explores things every day, and she's finding more and more about history and artists who have inspired waves and movements in the past, of things that she's learning about. And I'm pretty impressed.
Mm-hmm.
And we are fortunate. That's not lost on me at all.
Yeah.
So Lisa, when you're thinking about what's happening in our world right now, and the inspiration you're drawing from things, what do you hope for our future?
I definitely hope for more positivity and understanding, inclusion. Beyond that, I want the next generations to be able to do the exploring that we can do. I want them to have that access and not be shut-ins in a small little box. Yeah.
So Lisa, as we wrap up our conversation today, are there any final thoughts you'd like to leave with our listeners so that they know a little bit more about you, what you're about? Any inspiring words? I'm not going to ask you to sing or dance or anything, but it's a little inspiration to all of us.
Look at my artwork. Do something good for yourself every day. That would be a little bit of advice. That is different things to different people. It might be going and weeding, or it might be walking and looking at flowers. It might be cooking, painting, writing. Writing is very impressive. I'm not a great writer. I can put together some words here and there, but I love absorbing what great writers can do. Yeah.
Well, thank you. This has been a great conversation. And as we wrap up, thank you, Lisa, for being with us. You are a beacon of light, and together we are finding hope in this new normal. You're part of that for all of us.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. To our audience, if you want to know more about Lisa and her work, you can visit her website at lisamclymont.com. You can also visit the Ohio Arts Council's website at oac.ohio.gov and click on the Rife Gallery tab to view Lisa's work and the entire Ohio Diaspora exhibition, as well as our archives. For more information and stories from our Arts Beacon of Light, Finding Your Hope in the New Normal project, we welcome you to visit that same website, oac.ohio.gov. You can also follow us at Arts Beacon of Light on Instagram at Ohio Arts Beacon. We hope you'll submit your stories and share the light in your world with all of us. Until next time, let's all find hope in the new normal. And remember, the arts are better when we all work together.